One morning, Mark Zuckerberg woke up and completely changed his style of dress. He ditched his usual minimalist and branded attire for an old jacket, worn-out jeans, and a wide-brimmed hat. He also had a convincing beard and mustache. His aim was to see how people would treat him when they didn't recognize him as one of the founders of the internet and social media. Mark headed out into the crowded streets of San Francisco. His first stop was a park right in the heart of the city. At the park's entrance, a few kids were playing with an old basketball. Mark walked over to them and said he wanted to take a shot with the ball. The kids looked at him skeptically, but Mark's skill managed to convince them a little. "Uncle, this ball is really old. Do you need a newer one?" one of the kids asked. Mark, smiling, replied, "This ball is fine. What matters is playing, right?" The kids smiled back and started playing with Mark. This simple interaction reminded Mark that people can be happy with simple things. His next stop was a library. Upon entering, a young librarian approached him to offer help. "Are you looking for something?" the librarian asked. Mark replied, "Yes, I'm looking for a book on computer science." The librarian led him to the algorithms and data structures section. Mark picked up a book and settled into a chair, but instead of reading, he began observing the people around him. People were quietly immersed in their books, escaping into a world enriched with knowledge. This reminded Mark how valuable information is and how it should be accessible. He went to a street vendor for lunch. While waiting in line to get a simple hot dog, he struck up a conversation with an elderly man next to him. The man talked about how distant he felt from technology because these young people always have a screen in their hands. They've forgotten how to talk face to face. This comment made Mark reflect again on how technology shapes human relationships. After eating, Mark went to a museum. There he observed people's interest in art and history. When he stood in front of a painting, a child next to him asked, "What does this mean?" Mark answered, "Art means different things to everyone. What do you see?" The child responded, "A family, maybe from all over the world." Mark was moved by this answer. The universality of art and its power to unite people deeply affected him. At the end of the day, as Mark continued walking through the streets, a beggar approached him. "Can you help me out a bit?" he asked. Mark pulled out some money from his pocket to offer, but the beggar said, "I don't need money. I just wanted to talk to someone." This unexpected response changed something in Mark's heart. He realized that to understand what people truly need, one must stop and listen. By the end of the day, when Mark returned home, he reflected on the lessons this simple and unrecognized day had taught him. He learned that people can be happy with simple things, the importance of knowledge, the value of face-to-face communication, and the uniting power of art. The biggest surprise was that the beggar he tried to help actually wanted nothing more than to talk with him. This experiment taught Mark that people's real needs can sometimes be much simpler and deeper than we might think. This experience gave Mark a new perspective on how technology could be used in his future projects to connect people and foster genuine communication.